NBA Straya, how are you going? How you going? It's Hump Day, Wednesday, April 9, all day, and I'm your host, James Clemens, here in Larry Armour Studios for a big NBA Straya because the Nuggets fired their coach. Dude, there's like less than a week left of this season. What are we doing? We're going to talk that out as well. Calvin Booth is also at the door. We've got our final last power rankings of the season. We had Luka tossed from a game today. We got an all-time Wolves meltdown. And just the Suns got absolutely straight killed.
He got straight killed
by the Warriors. It was crazy. But we still didn't get Taron Armstrong out there, which kind of sucked. Either way, we've got the game wraps today. We've got That's Not an iPhone, Mate. No, Mate. Spud of the Night. Better than Lonzo Ball. Got some Yanazi. Unpopular Opinion of the Day and Outback Takehouse, where we're serving up a flame girl take. There is an Andrew Gaze Grey Mamba Award, the Australian player watching picks and previews for all of the games tomorrow, which is all very fun. So for all those picks and previews, remember to go to Dabble. Bang in that code NBA Straya. Click on the link in the show description here or in the Facey IG stories or under the Twitter video. Every morning we do the vibes and they're all in Dabble. So chuck us a follow. Copy that along if that's your thing. If not, it's all good. Either way, love you guts. Let's get into it. Episode 1242 of NBA Straya. Let's go.
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Dyson Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Miss Creek.
This is Mick K.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
You better. You better watch out for Stan Kroenke and co. if you're Mike Malone. Well, Michael. We'll get to that in a second. You also just better watch out for the Shaq attack if you're just trying to enjoy watching basketball. I don't know. There's no... The Warriors are the best team out here. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, it has been a really rough last 6 weeks of the season, let's just say that, when it comes to the commentariat around NBA. I think I'm trying to fight the good fight over here, but either way, I'll leave it up to you. Their in-between stuff today was just, like, Candace is good, but she's like, Shaq, where do you come up with this? It's like, NFW, it's a no fucking way. Like, where did he come up with it? I don't know. The internet 30 years ago. It's fucked. Anyway, let's start today's show the way we start every show here at NBA Straya with the Daily. That's right, a whip around. And the Denver Nuggets, who won the NBA title not 2 years ago, have fired their coach, Michael Malone, which is insane. It's literally the latest coaching change in NBA history, tied for Hubie Brown back in 80-81. And I kind of think it's just absolutely insane. Right, 471 wins, 327 losses, the most wins in franchise history, their only title in franchise history, more wins than any other coach in the NBA over the last 5 years. And I get that you're not digging the vibe. Denver's lost 4 straight. They're 11-13 since the All-Star break. Jam and Jamal Murray, though, has missed the last 5 games with one more of his nebulous bloody injuries. The thing is, it's crazy to do this without giving your coach one last chance in these playoffs just to see what happens. He's earned that, right? It's not Coach Michael Malone's fault that Stan Kroenke and co. cheaped out on going and surrounding Nikola Jokic, the best player in the NBA, with the best possible, available, achievable talent, right? The Bruce Brown stuff, the Jeff Green stuff, the notorious KCP. Oh, but Jim, the luxury tax. I don't care. Why do you own a fucking NBA franchise? Is it to win NBA titles when you have the fucking best player in the NBA? Yes, that is your moral obligation to your fans. And I get that this has been a bit fucky over the last, month or two, couple of months here with Michael Malone and the defense is being basically a bit shit. It's the 20th ranked defensive rating in the NBA. That's the worst of any team above 500, right? The thing is, this is what happens when you go, hey, Michael Malone, we gave a max contract to Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon is getting paid a fuck ton, and Nikola Jokic, right? So we're not going to get all the extraneous dudes that helped you win the fucking title a couple of years ago. Instead, what we're going to do is cheap out, and we're going to avoid luxury tax. Is the point of owning a fucking NBA team avoiding the luxury tax? Or, counterpoint, is it winning the fucking NBA title and trying your absolute hardest to do that? It's insane that Michael Malone cops it in the neck for this. It's not his fault they didn't want to pay KCP or Bruce Brown or Jeff Green, and they replaced them with, like, the super cheap auto parts of, like, Julian Strawther. Like, Christian Brown's been fucking awesome, great, but the rest of their dudes are still works in progress. Peyton Watson, Strawther and co. Russell Westbrook is running around like a fucking chook with its head cut off. He doesn't know what's going on. He's had some great moments. He's had some horrible moments. That's the Russell Westbrook experience. That's what you get. When this team is out, they go, well, DeAndre Jordan, Dario Saric. You're not fucking taking this seriously. You've got Nikola Jokic in his prime, a 3-time MVP, and you're fucking around. Don't fuck around, you idiots. Seriously, it's an unprecedented decision to blow up an actual legitimate contender who won again their title the year before last, and the front office at the same time, because Calvin Booth has been shown the ass, and seemingly this is all about the simple fact that there was a bit of a cold war brewing between these two guys, Michael Malone and Calvin Booth, and the way that they've dealt with it hasn't been ideal. It doesn't feel like it's been the simple, hey, we're all working towards the same goal here. It seems like they're at loggerheads. So they fired both of them? What the fuck? So Calvin Booth's like, play the young dudes. I keep drafting these young dudes. And Mike Malone's like, they're not any fucking good, you idiot. And anyway, they've gone back and forth. And the Nuggets have just decided enough and fired fucking both of them, which is fine in the off-season. But not when there's 1 week left to go in the fucking NBA season and you probably still have a puncher's chance at making the finals and winning another title. Now we've got David Adelman, assistant coach de jour, who's stepping up, and it's like, okay, fine, I guess. But what are we doing here? It feels like this is just a really, really tough, gross decision-making tree that stems from ownership's inability to really formulate a plan to help Nikola Jokic, the best player in the NBA right now, succeed in the simple idea of trying to win an NBA title. They've tried to nickel and dime it. They've tried to fucking galaxy brain this shit. And what happens? You end up here with Michael Porter Jr. coming up with just fuck all really on a massive contract. Who's like a handy fucking dude, right? But you can find dudes like that. But it's the guys around that. It's the role players. It's the notorious KCPs. It's the Bruce Browns. The guys who can know what to do. They're veterans. They know their role. And they've fucked it. So it's weird. But the Nuggets did lose like these shitty games to like the Wolves and Golden State. But then when they blew that Spurs game the other day, you could sort of see, oh, that's fucked. What are they doing? And boom. They were fourth in the West this morning. They're still 47-32. They didn't play today. And as I mentioned on yesterday's show, there's a bunch of teams on 32 losses. So it's going to be chaos this last week of the season. And to fire Michael Malone as that chaos is about to engage in a proper fucking manner is insane to me. So, hey, Jim, how do you feel about it? I think it's fucking stupid. I'm like, I was surprised, but I also wasn't that surprised. Like, there's been something fucky going on, but I'll talk about this again in Nars and Outback Takehouse, but still, what are we doing here at some point? The most remarkable aspect of this, oh, well, not the most remarkable. This is a fucking title-winning coach who got fired, like, less than 2 years after winning the title. The only teams in the NBA, there are 30 teams at the moment in the NBA. Fingers crossed, my beloved Seattle Supersonics. If you're watching the YouTube, we've got the Sonics t-shirt on. There's 3 teams that haven't changed coaches since COVID. San Antonio and Coach Pop had a fucking stroke, and hasn't coached this year, the Miami Heat and the Golden State Warriors. That's the fucking list. That's insane. Anyway. We'll talk about this again later. But otherwise, Jalen Wells had a big fall today. That looked brutal. The good news is his dad, Fred, is like, Jalen's awake and alert, wanted to know the score. Swollen wrist, face, jaw, and back pain. Turns out he's got a broken wrist. It looked brutal. Everyone's like, it looked like a football game where everyone's just like on their knees just going, geez, this is fuck, poor Jalen Wells. He sort of got like inadvertently, I guess, undercut by KJ Simpson, who was trying to like get to the pass, and it was a bit of a fuck around. But poor Jalen Wells, but it looks like he's doing okay, so that's all right. Fingers crossed there. Terrence Davis is going back to the Sacramento Kings, which is kind of fun. He played for them 2021 to 2023. That's cool. The Kings are just whatever. But the big news for me today is that Dante Exum, that's right, Kangaroo Kobe himself, could be back. That's right, he's been upgraded to questionable for the Lakers game tomorrow for the Mavericks, which is awesome because Jason Kidd was like, yep, he broke his hand. He's probably out for the season after having surgery. That was like about a month ago. So, Jesus. Anyway, I think there was a good Twitter comment. I hope he's drinking his milk. Come on, Dante. Get some of that calcium. Anyway, so Denver's fired their coach. It's insane. Luka got tossed today as well, which is pretty funny. We had an incredible Wolves meltdown. Let's talk about those in the game wraps. That's right, the game wraps from today. We had 10 games. Atlanta, Orlando, an absolute ripper. This is out there almost deciding the 7-8 battle in the East because I believe with that win, the Magic have the tiebreaker over Atlanta despite these two teams playing again on Monday in the cacophonic NBA finale where all the teams play at once. But that puts them 2 games ahead of the Atlanta Hawks in the 7-8 spots. It was a really fun game, and Orlando were really good. Atlanta sort of threw the kitchen sink at them. Paolo was just too good. Washington put up a fight in Indy. Indy were just fucking around, screwing around with their food. 19.5-point favorites, remember, from yesterday. They win it 104-98. Bit of a weird one. Indy just, do the damn thing. And it took a bit for them to get there. Like, it was a bit squirrely, but they did get there. In the end, like, they were down pretty heftily in that third quarter, I think it was. They were like down 12 and stuff. And you're like, what the fuck are you idiots doing? Like 13 points down. And then they fought back and won by 6 because the Wizards don't want to win basketball games. 24-10 for Siakam. They got their 5th straight win. But yeesh, Benny Mathman was handy. It's pretty tough though. This is a team that scored 13 points in the second quarter and leading in the third. Crazy gear. Anyway, good job by the Pacers. They've locked away that 4 seed now, so good on them. Memphis steamrolled Charlotte 124-100 because Charlotte isn't really a basketball team. I'm wearing their hat right now, but still. Chicago lost in Cleveland. 113-135. Now, I said on yesterday's show, look, hey, I don't mind them at the 10.5, the 14.5, because they'll put up a fight. And then they decided to rest their top 5 scorers. That's right. They rested Kobe White, Vooch, Gids, everybody just had the day off. Bit of an RDO. So Cleveland smashed them by 22 despite not having Donnie Mitchell. Chicago, though, is still sort of locked in. They gave themselves a day off because they know they've got this battle with the Heat for the 9-10 spot in the East, right? So just getting a bit of a get-right game. And Cleveland lock away the 1 seed, obviously, in the East, 63-16. Very nice. New Orleans lost in Brooklyn, 119-114. Who cares? That's a tankathon game. Then the good ones, Minnesota, come up short in Milwaukee, 110-103. But Jim, what do you mean came up short? Well, they came up wildly short because they're up by 24. An absolute all-time meltdown from the Timberwolves where they had a 99.9% win probability with 10 minutes to go in this game. They're up 95-71. The Bucks then went on an all-time fuck you run of 34-3 and the Wolves lose the game. It was an absolutely insane meltdown for the Wolves, who are just in this absolute fucking death match of seeding out west. For them to drop this game up 24 in the fourth quarter is fucking insanity. because this could mean they're basically stuck in the 8 seed going up against the Thunder, which, to be honest, is not that too much of a bad matchup, I think, for them. But still, the implications of that, tagging themselves a one extra loss and just falling apart, while all the other teams in front of them have got 32 losses themselves, right, is just absolutely mammoth. So, yeah, bit of a rough one, I'll tell you. Chaos gear. Ant-Man couldn't hit a shot. Giannis is incredible. He's going to pop again later. Boston, the Knicks. This guy was sick as well. 119, 117. The Boston Celtics sweep the Knickerbockers this season 4-0 by 2 points in this one in overtime. It was a huge game. This was unreal. The Garden was absolutely alight. And the one who did it to him. Oh, don't do it to him, Zinger.
Extreme Zinger meal.
He was supercharged today.
Supercharged Zinger burger.
He really was. He went absolutely ham, hit 8 threes. Brown was horrible. Tatum was good, hit a massive 3 late. But wow, the Knicks fought, which is what we're going to get to when we do our power rankings in a second. This was wildly entertaining. To the point where even with Reggie Miller on the call, he's like, I don't think too many people would really be upset with this matchup in the playoffs. Hey, Kev. And you're like, shut the fuck up, Reggie. Of course they wouldn't be, you dumb fuck. Jesus. Anyway, Lakers OKC was awesome. And then it wasn't. 136-120. The Thunder stomped the Lakers. But Jim, what happened? It was tight. The Lakers were up 108-107 with 7.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And Luka Doncic talked some shit to a fan, and the ref got in his fucking feelings and kicked him out. What the fuck are we doing here with these dumb fuck refs once more? Absolutely absurd gear. They got outscored 28-13 the rest of the way. The Lakers were completely discombobulated. And that's the thing. You take away Luka off this team, and OKC just go, well, who's going to do shit? We'll just fucking key on LeBron. It's going to be fine. And that's what happened. With the Lakers dropping this game, it locks in the 2 seed for the Rockets, which is very, very cool. But at the same time, a lot of drama. Lakers fans having a big old cry. It's like, yeah, but whatever. You're still the 3 seed. You're 1 game up on the Clippers, which we're going to talk about in a second. But yeah, not great. Not great. But I always love it when the Lakers fans are like, oh, the refs are unfair. Shut the fuck up, Lakers fans. They're always, unless they're like this dude, JT Orr, who just has like a personal vendetta against Luka. We'll talk about that in a second. Just remember the Lakers free throw disparity versus every other team. Everybody just pumped their fucking brakes. Golden State absolutely shit pumped the Phoenix Suns.
He got straight killed.
It was an embarrassment for the Suns. 133-95. Steph had 25. Didn't matter. They fucking just curb stomped them. Ran away with it, knocking in threes left, right, and center. Taron Armstrong he was in street clothes, so he couldn't get out there, else he would have made his NBA debut. And then finally, the Clippers held off the Spurs, 117-122. They were up like 16 points with about 2 minutes to go. And geez, if you'd been like, I don't know, your mate Jim, and had them minus 12.5, you were like, haha, just ride this one out. Oh, what the fuck are they doing? And then the fucking Spurs scored, I think, what was it? It was like Malachi Branham. Yeah, that was still up 12 points with 41 seconds left. And then they scored like 7 points in the last minute. And you're like, what are you doing? Oh, God. Anyway, Spurs no good. Good win for the Clippers. They just sort of wrested control of this game away from the Spurs in the third quarter and ran away with it. So good job by them. Let's do an NBA Straya Proof performance of the night.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
That's a knife. Honorable mentions, Paolo Banchero, 33-10-4 for Paolo. Paolo Bancheros. Shout out to IMB, Ian Matty Bassett, who was out there going deep diving on how I was completely correct on yesterday's show about the Munch on Manchero song, how it's the One Ton Rodeo song, and they were both like ads in the 90s. And that Munch on Mancheros ad is fucking wildly culturally insensitive and fucked up. It was a different time in the 90s though, Jim, he says. Oh, God. 42-6-6 for SGA. Very nice. He went 5 of 9 from downtown. He's going to pop up again later. The Extreme Zinger Meal. What a game from him.
The Extreme Zinger Meal.
8 made threes, including massive ones late. Just huge. 34-4-3. But Giannis, 23-13-10. That's his third triple-double in a row. I think the Bucks have now won, 5 on the trot when they needed to just sort of like hold off Detroit for the 5-6 spot. They're now 2 games up. He's averaging 33, 13, and 13 on this 5-game win streak, which is just, hello, what's going on here? Absolutely absurd. Great job by him. SJ was so good in that game today, though. We had plenty of points scored around the NBA where, like, Karl Anthony Towns was awesome, 34, 14, and 2, but got outplayed down the stretch by the extreme Zinger Mill. Tatum was really good for his 32. I'm going to talk about Onyeka Okongwu in a second. Garland was handy. Ja Morant was really good as they curb stomped Charlotte with his 28, 8, and 5. But either way, look, I just loved what Zinger and Giannis did. Love a couple of unicorns. How about a bit of Spud of the night? Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night. Spud of the night. We had a few Spuds rolling out there today. 0-5 for Terrence Mann. Remember when he was untouchable in trades? Jesus. Andy Nemhard goes 1-7. Lester Quinos. That's right. Not a made-up player. He went 1 of 6 for the Pelicans. Royce O'Neal, 1 of 6 as well. 2 of 8 for Daquan Jeffries, Gary Terrence Jr., and the big one for me was Jaylen Brown. He was really bad against the Knicks. 2 of 8 shooting, 3 turnovers, 6.5 rebounds, 1 assist. He was brutal. Absolutely brutal today. So, bit of a rough one for JB. But you get that on the big job sometimes, I guess. Just wanted to sort of tuck away in the back of the old noggin, though, if they do meet in the playoffs. Just a bit of a strange one. And no one shot the magic number. Boo. Who's old mate, no mates?
Old mate, no mates.
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 Who's got no mates? So it's the guy who, a week out from the playoffs and 2 years removed from winning an NBA title, got fired. Michael Malone. Old mate, no mates there in Denver. That is just, what the hell, man? Like, any team would be, I think, fucking stoked to have Michael Malone, but he got fired. Other old mate, no mates, obviously, as mentioned, Luka. So he's yelling at Jeremy Price, this OKC fan. They're going back and forth. And JT Orr, the fucking ref, was like, oh, no, you said that to me. And Luka's like, I was yelling at this fucking idiot fan. And he's like, nah. And so Jared Vanderbilt from the Lakers came out later and was like, yeah, hey, man, when Luka picked up his first tech, JT Orr said he would talk to anybody but Luka. Vando then said that the text Doncic receives seem personal. I mean, this also is a bit of the old, you're going to have to learn at some point to stop your fucking bitching and moaning, aren't you, Luka? So I'm actually a little bit like, I hate when refs kick out superstar players. Like, the shit that Draymond gets away with is fucking absurd. And Luka's level of bitching and moaning is a bit fucky, but by the same token, no one is there to see you, refs. No one's there to see you. If Luka's fucking yelling at some fan, not at you, if he's not calling you a fucking idiot or some shit like that, even in Latvian, like, he is Slovenian, however, Jim, so might have been a bit of a problem. What are we doing here? That's just fucked. And so if JT Orr's out there making it personal, that's just fucking... Rule number 1 for refs, that's fucked. Don't do that. Pantsing of the night. We got some white-on-white crime as Hartenstein. Hello, we've got Dalton Connect. Bang! Set that fucker back. Dalton Connect thought he had a dunk. Hartenstein went, no, you do not. And then my probably favorite, Steve Kerr was mic'd up on today's show and pantsed his own player, Buddy Hield, basically. He's like, hey, I want you guys to meet each other. Buddy, say hello to Steph. He's the greatest shooter in the world. Wide open. So pass him the fucking ball. I loved it. I fucking loved it. Just chewing out your own fucking player. Just go, what are you doing, you idiot? That's Steph Curry. Give him the fucking ball. He's better than you. That's such a good pantser. Who is better than Bronny James?
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. We're coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. How about Alexander Sarr, another number 2 pick? 20 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 blocks for the NBL next star. Alexander Sarr. That was good. He's been very, very, very solid this second half of the season, which is always pretty good and good signs if you're a big man. And the same thing goes for Onyeka Okongwu, who had 30 and 14 today. Went 4 of 7 from deep. Now, if you watch the Hawks that often, like I have tended to do this year, obviously with Dyson Daniels on the team, he had 4 assists, 3 steals, but he's shooting threes at a pretty high rate now. 4 of 7 from downtown in this one. He's had like a really strangely underrated year, right? He's just been super solid with the Hawks not really having Clint Capela. He was taken 6 overall back in 2020, right? One of those weird drafts where you're like, oh, fucking, who knows what's going on. And then boom, it's sort of taken a little bit there, but he's gotten better. He's been very, very solid this year. So, you know, bit of love for Onyeka Okongwu, 30 and 14. Better than Bronny James and Lonzo Ball and Ben Simmons. Right, let's take a quick break. Come back with some yeah-nahs right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You listen to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're listening
Straya.
to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do some yeah-nahs. Number 1, Dan D. Mike Malone obviously bruised the Denver front office's egos, so they spat the dummy and sacked him. Unless it was Jokic-led, which I sincerely doubt. Not trading Luka crazy, but still franchise malfeasance. Yeah, I think, like, bruising the Denver front office's egos is a big part of that, but the fact that they then also fired Calvin Booth, not extending his contract, etc., it speaks to, like, hey, we need this all point in the right direction, and you two idiots are just fucking around. I don't think you fire the fucking coach, right? He's the winningest coach in your fucking franchise's history. He won you he helped you win the title. He's an awesome dude. Jokic fucking loves him. And as Dan D points out, I don't think it was Jokic led. It's still franchise malfeasance. It feels like, yes, something had to change. And it would have been a bit of a shock in the offseason if they get bundled out in the first round or second round with Michael Malone in charge. You go, look, maybe we need a new voice. But not even giving him that chance is fucked, which I'm going to talk about again in a second. Speaking of which, does Jokic now have a bit of a, hang on, should I leave Denver at some point vibe to him? Yeah, nah. I'm probably still going to push back and say nah on this one. Does it open the door a little bit ajar? That's no door, it's a jar. Yeah, nah. Yeah, it's more ajar than it was because you just fucking sacked the only coach he's ever had in the NBA. Which, it's the guy who had faith in him, who helped him quite literally reach the mountaintop. 3-time MVP, NBA champion. You fire that dude and bring in David Adelman as like the replacement, Jokic is going to be like, all right, but do we believe that he would not have been consulted with this? The way the Cronkies do fucking business, who knows? Like, when you make a coaching change and you got a superstar 3-time MVP NBA champion on your team, you should ask him. And if they didn't, that's fucked. If they did and he went, that is fine for me, you fire Michael Malone. Then maybe Jokic is obviously saying, yeah, we're fucked at the moment, which he has said. He has announced his frustrations at their shitty defense. I still think Jokic sticks around for the long haul in Denver. He has that vibe about him. But I reckon with Michael Malone, it was 100% ironclad that Jokic just stays no matter what, right? Denver Nugget for life. Now it's a question mark. And Zachy B, to finish this one off before we go into the power rankings. Yeah, nah, Celtics winning it all. Most road wins in Celtics franchise history, hitting form at the right time. Tatum with the FU games to Steve Kerr. I'm loving it. Yeah, nah. Yeah, I said this the other day on the Basketball Fix podcast with my man Higo. I made this case a little while ago. The Celtics, it's like, here we go. It's like with all the Trump bullshit in the States, right? Where the markets are fucking going chaos and shit like that. And it's like, oh, well, you know what? We need stability. We're going to go back to treasury bonds and all that sort of shit. That's the Celtics at this point. They're treasury bonds. They've got the runs on the board. They won the title last year. They know what it takes. They're not afraid of literally anybody else in the NBA right now. And I'll talk about this again in a second when we do the power rankings. They also have a really they have an easier path back to the finals than any team in the West. And you look at the teams that have to play to get there in the East, and I don't think they're afraid. So I think they're the best pick right now. So anyway, really quick unpopular opinion of the day before we do the power rankings.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
I'm fascinated by the Taylor Jenkins and Michael Malone sackings because I think the gap between bad coaches and good coaches might never have ever been more apparent when you look at someone like Monty Williams being, replaced by JB Bickerstaff being replaced by Kenny Atkinson. I think coaching matters to a point, and then it's personality management. And it's weird because I think the difference between good and bad coaches on the whole has probably never been smaller. There's so much more intelligence out there. There's so many more tools with which you can coach a basketball team to a really good degree, right? This isn't like, I just learned my X's and O's in high school and college and as an assistant, then I'm a head coach. There are so many more options for you now, even if you're like a middling head coach, just to be a little bit better. So it's when coaches fail that it still blows my mind. But at the same time, it's about balancing personalities, and I guess the coaches that do that the best are the best coaches, right? It's Popovich, it's Spoelstra. It probably was Michael Malone, but the problem was he didn't manage the personality with the front office and with the ownership, and it fucked him in the end. So it's a bit weird. I don't know, unpopular opinion, I still think coaching matters. I don't know if it matters as much as we maybe think, but when you've got a really fucking good one, it does matter. Simple. Right, let's do the final power rankings for the regular season. Let's start at the bottom in the utter butt category. They are all horrible. They are all tanking. Some even worse than others. Starting at the Philadelphia 76ers, unwatchable. The Utah Jazz, same sort of thing. But at least they've got a couple of young dudes that you're like, that's kind of fun. The Hornets, they're not even really that. They're just getting stomped. But then they every so often play some of their vets and they're like half decent. But they and the Jazz are just interchangeably shit. The Wizards are a little bit better because they've got dudes like Bub Carrington, Alexander Sarr, and some of their other young dudes are coming along, which is good. So they get to play their kids. They feel good about that. The Pelicans, they've just got nobody left. The Brooklyn Nets as well, they've just sat everybody. And the Toronto Raptors still fall in the utter butt category despite playing most of their dudes because they're also doing the thing where it's like, we'll play you the first half and then sit you the second half and fucking who cares? I care because I like watching good basketball. So that gets us to 24. Those 6 teams are the worst right now because the next ones are cooked and unwatchable. That's the Phoenix Suns. They were unwatchable today. All I was watching for that game was to see if Taron Armstrong was on the bench and dressed, and he wasn't. And you're like, this is fucked. Phoenix is shit. Absolutely. Like, Buds is probably gone. KD's probably traded. You probably have to restart it all with trading Devin Booker as well. They're fucked. The next tier is 21 and 22. 22, that's the Spurs, and 21 is the Trailblazers. These two teams have players who are good, and they're not tanking properly, and they'll probably get rewarded by the basketball gods, who will probably punish Philly and have these two teams jump ahead of them in the draft lottery, and the Sixers will have to give their pick to fucking OKC or whatever, which would be the funniest thing. At number 20, the tier is called Had Luka Doncic and also Can't Beat the Clippers. Oh, that's the Dallas Mavericks. Hey, at least they're showing signs of life, but they got fucking curb stomped by the Clippers on the weekend, and yeah, all the good vibes disappeared. The play-in fodder, but they're kind of fun tier. This is number 19, the Sacramento Kings. They've been a little bit more fun on this road trip. They found a little bit of something. That's good. And the Chicago Bulls, they are still fun despite sitting everybody today and getting smashed by the Cavs. When they play their dudes, Kobe White and Josh Giddey are awesome fun. But they are still playing fodder. Because like, even if they win that first game of that 9-10, they're probably going to lose the 8-9 matchup, the matchup for the 8 seed. And then even if they do manage to win that, they'll get curb stomped by the 1 seed. The next tier is called the Janky East teams that I love them in almost different ways, but they're not going to get out of the first round if they make it there. Number 17, the Atlanta Hawks. They kind of just can't get out of their own way sometimes. They have these moments where it's like, holy shit, are they good? And then they'll have other games where like, have they played basketball before outside of Dyson Daniels? 16, the Orlando Magic. Their win today over Atlanta was very, very good, and it's been too far above and beyond so many of their games this season. They just need to keep riding this wave of momentum into the actual playoffs, and I feel better about them. Miami, they're at 15. They've been awesome again because they've just got, we had this big losing streak, it sucked. Now we're winning heaps. It's like, all right, good on you guys, I guess. Then, after Miami, my beloved Detroit Pistons. I love them so much. I got them ranked 14th just because the teams ahead of them, the Pistons have had like a couple of little bumps. And with Cade Cunningham sort of in and out, they lose to the Kings and the Grizzlies. And it feels like that's exactly their level at this point. It's like, it's a really good team. Oh, a half-decent team. Oh, fuck. They lost to the Thunder. They've lost 4 of their last 5. Cade's been in and out. It's sort of like that Cavs win a couple of weeks ago feels like a really long time ago, which sort of sucks, but still. 13 and 12. This tier is called the just fired the winningest coach in franchise history a week before the playoffs. Well, 2 weeks in case of the Memphis Grizzlies at 13. What the hell? They then lost a bunch of games. Their schedule got really hard. But with the Wolves losing today, the Grizzlies could still eke out like not an 8 seed. So good on them. And at number 12, the Denver Nuggets. God damn. Firing Mike Malone just seems really weird. The next tier could make some noise if it all breaks right, but it probably won't. Number 11, the Milwaukee Bucks. They've won 5 on the trot. Giannis is looking incredible. I just, like KPJ being as good as he is while Dame's out, that's kind of the big problem. Dame being out, their ceiling is just depressed that much more. And I'd honestly believe it's below that of the Pacers, who at their best I think are better than the Bucks anyway. So the Pacers are at 10. Number 9, the Wolves. Could make some noise, remember, if it all breaks right, but it won't. There's just something about this Wolves team this year that just fucking feels off. It might be Ant-Man's 27 fucking kids that he's had under 23 years of age, and he's like paying off like the fucking mums with upfront lump sum child fucking support allowances like a fucking lunatic. But that's also just shit karma. And when you lose today by being up 24 in the fourth quarter, I don't feel like it's going to break right. The next tier is, after the could make some noise if it all breaks right, but it won't, this tier is called the could make some real noise if it all breaks right, and it could. Number 8, the LA Clippers. They're now in the 4 seed in the West. Oh, shit. I would still love a Lakers-Clippers all-LA series 3-6. Who knows how it'll all break, but the Clippers look dangerous at times. They have these moments where you're like, can they actually get out of their own way? And sometimes they look unbeatable. So if it all breaks right, they could be in the conference finals. The Knicks are at 7 because you saw them put up a really good fight against the Celtics today, right? They've got Brunson back. If it all breaks right, you could see them. They're in what? The 3 seed. The problem is, to make the conference finals, they'd have to go through Boston. And Boston have just had their number this year, so it'd have to break really fucking right. But you saw them today. They could have won that game. Just worry about some of their execution. Number 6, the Houston Rockets. Now, I am really, really high on the Rockets. They're the 2 seed for a reason. They could make some real noise if it all breaks right, and it could because their defense is that good. But it's really hard to trust the team that's relying so much on Fred VanVleet of the Fighting VanVleets and Dylan China Brooks. Number 5 and 4 are in a tier by themselves. Could make the finals, bro. Could make the finals. Lakers and the Warriors at 5 and 4. The Lakers' size, they still have these weird games like they did today, but they were beating OKC. They were giving them some real worries. It was a weird, strange game, but still, they were beating them. And the Warriors just fucking straight killed the Suns today in just like absurd fashion.
So he got straight killed.
And with Jimmy Butler, Draymond, Steph, Potemski just shooting the piss out of it, they could go on a run and make the finals. If they like meet up with OKC, you feel like they could have a puncher's chance. Number 3, this is a tier all to itself. Conference finalists, or else it's a failure of a season. Number 3, that's the Cleveland Cavaliers. They've dropped out of a tier at the top all by themselves just because it feels like the eye of the tiger is kind of there at times. they have to make the conference finals, and I feel like they ought to. They're the 1 seed. They've won 1,000,000 games. But I don't know. It's just something a bit off about them lately. And same goes for at the top tier, we've got the 2 teams who should meet in the finals. Number 2, Oklahoma City Thunder. Geez, Jim, why are they 2 after being number 1? Number 1 is Boston because I just feel that much more confident in them. They know what to do. They know how to get there. They've managed to sort of like negotiate this season really, really smartly, I feel. Not really overtaxing Tatum and Brown and co. They're just hitting like a bit of extreme zinger meal action right at the right time.
Extreme zinger meal.
Drew Holiday, Al Horford. As long as everyone's healthy with D. White, they should not be afraid of anybody. And the Thunder, look, they were losing to the Lakers today. But the thing is, they also turn around and fucking kill teams. So, I don't know. It's what happens sometimes. But still, there you go. Boston finish the season, the regular season, at the top of the power rankings before we do playoff power rankings next week. All right. So, let's finish off with a bit of an Outback Takehouse. It's hump day at Outback, and you know what that means? Oh, yeah. We've just got 2 for 1 camel humps. Because you know that like they come with 2 of them sometimes. Some other ones have only got 1, but 2 for 1. Why the bloody hell not? They're feral fucking things in Australia anyway. So, you fucking chop them off, and it's all a bit rubbery or whatever, but still bloody delicious. 2 for 1 camel humps only at Outback. And today's Flame Grilled take is, there should be fucking rules built into firing a coach, right? I firmly believe you should not be allowed to fire your fucking coach under 2 years after winning a title. Like, it just should be a rule. You gotta give the title-winning fucking coach a chance. He didn't win it last year, but he won it the year before. You gotta give him this year's chance just to see what he can do. You can fire him in that off-season, but you can't fucking fire him for 2 years after you've won the title. Just leave it at that. Let's make a rule. Only at Outback. All right, quick Australian player watch right after this.
This is Shane Heal, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, Australian player watch for your Wednesday, April 9. We will say goodbye to a few of the Aussies next week, but which is a bit of a shame. Obviously, no Josh Giddey, as I mentioned at the top against the Cavs. He rested that one. I think they also gave like a piss week sort of excuse, which is always fun. I love it when they're like, wrist. And you're like, all right, sure. Right forearm, Gids was called. There you go. They obviously missed him, but they missed everybody. They didn't in their top 5 scorers. What are we doing here? Dyson Daniels in that loss to Orlando for the Hawks, a tough one for them. He had 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and 1 steal. One of those blocks is real nice. 7 to 12 from the floor of 2 from downtown. No Josh Green in the Charlotte capitulation to Memphis with his left shoulder. Johnny Fervor! Johnny Tins got out there for 7 minutes against Washington in that tight win for the Pacers. 7 minutes. He had 2 steals and 1 foul. A very strange stat line for our man, Johnny Furphy, old Frost. Jingling Jungles copped a did not play coach's decision in the Minnesota Timberwolves capitulation again to that Milwaukee Bucks team. Luke Travers was out there for Cleveland today, which is always fun. He got 3 minutes at the very end. He had 1 assist. And he was a +4 in 3 minutes, so that's good. Don't mind that. As mentioned, Taron Armstrong didn't get out there today. Alex Dukas wasn't out there for the Thunder either. Taron probably would have had a bit of a chance, but yeah, didn't dress, which is a bit of a problem. Well, a bit of a pain in the ass. And Box Hill, Ben Simmons played 15 minutes for the Clippers in their big win over the Spurs. 0 points in 15 minutes, 0 of 3 from the floor. He had 7 rebounds and 2 assists and 1 turnover. And no Patty Mills, so bit of a shame against one of his old teams, but still. Right. That's all the Aussies. How about a bit of an Andrew Gaze Graham Mumber Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence? It's the first annual. Turn the thing up, Jim.
It's the first annual Andrew Gaze Great Mumba.
Ba, 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 ba. Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence. Oh, yeah, let's do it. Anthony Edwards became the 3rd youngest player in NBA history to reach 9,000 points. It's pretty good. He's also probably number 1 in NBA history for most kids under 23. It's pretty nuts. Yeah, behind LeBron and KD. It's pretty good. He's also the youngest player to hit 300 plus threes in a season. But the one that I wanted to do was SGA and the Thunder. Because, yeah, it felt weird to knock them down to 2 in the power rankings, but like the way that they sort of just had these like weird scrabbly games here and there, and versus like Boston just fucking stomping teams on the road this season for the best road record in franchise history. The Boston Celtics have been around for a while as well, just saying. SGA has now got 72 straight games with 20 plus points. That's insane. So today I had 42, 6, and 6, was absolutely awesome. But then on top of that, and this is why it was kind of weird to change them at the top of the power rankings after they end up smashing the Lakers once Luka gets tossed. They just broke the record for most double-digit wins in NBA history. That was their 51st this season. That's absolutely fucking nuts. That breaks the record held by the LA Lakers in 1972. You might remember that team. They were pretty bloody fucking good with Wilt and everybody. The 2017 Golden State Warriors did it 48 times. The 1971 Bucks did it 47 times. The 96 and 97 Chicago Bulls did it 46 and 45 times. And the 2008 Boston Celtics did it 45 times, as did the 15 Warriors. Hey, what have all those teams got in common there, Jim? They all won the fucking NBA title. Seriously, 72 Lakers, 17 Warriors, 71 Bucks, 96, 97 Bulls, 08 Celtics, 15 Warriors. In fact, the 2019 Milwaukee Bucks, who did it 45 times, are the only ones all the way down to 44 times who have not won the title. They made the East Finals. The 92 Bulls did it 44 times. The 16 Warriors, who lost to LeBron in the finals, made the finals as well. Then it was the 13 Thunder and the 16 Spurs. Crazy numbers of the Thunder putting up. It's absolutely nuts. All right, what about a bit of a Patty Mills Game Day Baller Game Day Twitter check-in? Let's see what Patty's been up to. Have we got a Patty one? Patty. Nothing new. Oh, that's a bit of a shame. Dyson Daniels, one new post. Dyson Daniels in store. That's right, the Vucetti. That's pretty good. He's got some nice highlights there. What's his story? Oh, that's right. He was on the Hawks podcast in that sweet jersey, which I've got one of those behind me, actually. I'm using a different camera today as well, so check out the YouTube and go and tell us what you reckon. Either way, Dyson Daniels, good Instagram follow because he's, I don't know, doing lots of fun stuff. Right, let's do some game previews for tomorrow. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Yeah, not bad. Hopefully this camera's going good. She looks all right, I reckon. Pretty happy with it. Tomorrow's game. So out of today's games, how did we go? There was 10 games. We went... oh, God. 1. Oh, God. 2. 3. 4. 4 out of 10. That was a bit brutal. Bit of a shit one. Thanks a lot, Minnesota. I would have changed that Chicago one as well if I had have known the... I don't think I actually put that on Dabble, but either way. Indy also just giving up the ghost. What's going on there? Either way, remember, you can follow all the daily picks with NBA Straya over at Dabble. Use the code NBA Straya when you sign up, etc. Or make sure you smash the link in the show description to follow and copy our picks as well. You can see it on the Facing IG stories as well, or underneath the video every time we chuck it up on Twitter. We do the morning vibes, the drop-off vibes video, and just bang on all the multis, all the same gamers that we've got for that day. Just go follow them over at NBA Straya. Use that code NBA Straya. Tell them we sent you. Got to keep this pirate ship alive somehow. Right, tomorrow, the Sixers are half-point favorites over Washington. Which team wants to win that? I think Philly would really like to get a win before the end of the season because at the moment, it is a 12-game losing streak for them. Brooklyn are 3 games down on them in the losing column, so they probably can't catch them, right? So Philly might try their absolute hardest to get a win against the Wizards. In Washington, though, Washington have been pretty solid. I might go Philly, though, because Washington on a back-to-back, it just might be a little bit too much to ask of them. Then we have Boston-Orlando. Crazy game. The Orlando Magic are 3.5-point favorites at home. That probably tells me that Boston probably rest a couple of folks on the back half of a back-to-back. Having just played in New York, they go down to Orlando. I'll take the Magic, who are also on a back-to-back, but at home. A bit of a tricky one, but the Magic should maybe get that one done. Also sort of tells me they're probably going to rest everybody. Charlotte go to Toronto. Now, the Hornets are just a mess. But Toronto are as well. Toronto can't really tank any further. They're 3 games down on the Nets in the loss column as well. I feel like Toronto probably smashed them. The Hornets can't really tank any further either, but they're sort of tied up. Well, they've got 60 losses already. The Pelicans have got a lot of making up to do. I think Toronto get that done, but I'll take Charlotte plus 8.5 just because it will be 2 one-legged men in an ass-kicking contest. The big one tomorrow, though, is the Lakers and the Mavericks. LeBron James and Luka Doncic. He's coming home. He's coming home. The Mavs are 4.5-point underdogs at home. I'm going to take that. I don't think the Lakers will, I don't know, they'll probably maybe look at resting, but they can't. After losing today, they're really in an absolute just scrap to hold on to that 3 seed. The Clippers are right behind them. If they get tagged with another loss, it's going to be hard. But I think the Mavs are up for the fight. I think the Mavs can make this a really close one. Let's go the Mavs plus 4.5. Miami, Chicago. I mentioned this one earlier. This game is an absolute ripper. This is your 9-10 seeded matchup. Chicago, having rested everybody, I kind of like them plus 2.5 at home. Like, the Heat have been very, very good, but Chicago bringing back Vooch, Gids, and Kobe White, I like their chances of just winning that one, so give me the 2.5. Portland go to Utah. That's a 6.5-point line. Portland, everybody is questionable for this one tomorrow. So this is much more of a check the lineups before it actually drops because they've got Denny, Anthony, Duop, like lots of people questionable for that. At the moment, I'll take them on the assumption that they might actually all play. San Antonio take on the Warriors. They are 15.5-point underdogs, are the Spurs. They did sort of put up a bit of a fight against the Clippers down the stretch today, as pointed out. 15.5 might be too many. The Warriors got to rest everybody in the fourth quarter today, but on a back-to-back, I might take the big number from the Spurs, plus 15.5. It's a tough one. Both teams on a back-to-back, you'd usually go the home team, but 15.5. The Spurs made it very, very scrappy against the Clippers today. The Warriors did absolutely kill the Suns, though. Maybe they can kill them again. Let's maybe go the Warriors. That might be another one to check tomorrow morning. We'll see what the lineups are doing if the Warriors are playing everybody. OKC Phoenix. Oh, mate, I can't take OKC quick enough. Minus 12.5 in Phoenix. We're going to Thunder. The Suns have completely just... Everybody's out there, I'll tell you that much. Denver, Sacramento. Can the Nuggets get a dead coach bounce in Sacramento? Ironically enough, that's where Michael Malone used to coach. I'm going to say Denver. Sacramento have been playing pretty well, but I think Denver, this is a classic dead coach bounce spot. Nikola Jokic could again against Domantas Sabonis and that mid front line of that Sacramento Kings. He could have another 60 and 10 and 10, I'm just saying. So let's go Denver minus 3.5. I would throw I'm just like, how high can we go with like how many points Jokic is going to score on the Souvlaki King? Bit of Eastern Euro battling. That always ends well. And then finally, Houston Clippers. A great game. The Rockets, look, they're 6.5-point underdogs. It's probably because they might end up not playing everybody in this game. With the 2 seed locked away, they probably want to get a bit of rest into them. But at the same time, the Clippers are on a back-to-back. They played a tough, weird one against the Spurs today. I'll take the Rockets plus 6.5. I reckon even their young second stringers might actually put up a big fight against the Clippers. So there we go. And remember, you can follow all those picks over at Dabble. Use that code NBA Straya. Click on the link in the show description if you're on the YouTube or if you're just on your podcast app, right, where it's all the words about what's in that show. At the bottom, there's a Dabble link. Bang that. Go check out all the picks every single day. Tracking it, we're over 61% for the season. So doing pretty bloody well. And yeah, it helps support the show. So if you're vibing that, go nuts. If not, it's all good. But that's it for today. Wait, that's the wrong button, wrong song. Jeez, what are we doing here? Come on, Jim, sort it out. All right, there we go. That's it. We'll be back on deck tomorrow. We'll have a quick one tomorrow. I got to drop the squid off at my folks' place up in B-Town. So he's having a great school holidays, I'll tell you. In the meantime, though, make sure you're following NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, YouTube. Jump in the YouTube comments, send through some yeah-nahs, give it a look. And also, let me know what you reckon of this camera. I'm loving it. I think it's cool. I've got to do some playing around, though, and see what we reckon. But let us know. Chuck a rating review on your Apple Podcast, your Spotify, YouTube, whatever app you use on your Android phone. It does help heaps. So rate, review, star, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Comment. Leave just a thank you. I don't care. Just fucking help a brother out. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. They rule. So to House Hats, Joshua Delarentis, Fascinator, Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Sexual Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. So smash them all on Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Facey, Apple Music, Spotify. Remember, NBA Straya supports Australian bands. So should you. All right, that's it. We will catch you tomorrow, you dickheads. That's been a fun show. Why would you fire Michael Malone? Let us know what you reckon, and we'll speak to you tomorrow. It's NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would you? And let us out! G'day, legends. Your mate Jim from NBA Straya here. That's right, I'm doing a thing at the end of the show. In the business, we call it a thing at the end of the show, I guess. I don't know. Either way, all I'm just saying is just make sure you're rating, reviewing, starring, subscribing across all of the apps that you use for NBA Straya. Jump in the comments, give us a shout. We'll bang you in yeah, nahs. Any other questions? I'll have a crack. I've got nothing better to do, basically. Also, just ask any questions, tell me what you want to hear from the show, and sing out and let us know. And of course, if you want to help support the show, jump on the old dabble, use that code NBA Straya, click on the link that's in the show description or on the socials. It goes up whenever I do the morning vibes, etc. So if that's your thing, jump on there, use that code NBA Straya, and remember, look after yourselves, would you?